Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day under the airco, far away from the heat. Hope you're enjoying this incredible event put by an incredible team. There has been a lot of talks until today, and many of you are wondering maybe why is there like an AI guy on the stage, why is an agents guy on the stage? Well, you're going to be seeing a lot of myself and Giza with top ecosystems because there's a very clear reality that is coming in, which is agents are going to be the next million users of L2s, and agents are going to be, and automated finance is going to be a solution for a lot of the problems that we have. At Giza, we focus on creating intelligent, autonomous markets. And today I will tell you what this means for ecosystems, for present and for future. What are the future ecosystems are going to look like? And what is the impact that we are currently bringing as the market leaders in financial automation? Let's start with like zooming out a little bit. There was like a lot of solution-oriented conversations today, but I think like we also have to address like a lot of elephants in the room. It's like a zoo in the room when we come to L2s. And one of the biggest pain points is that there's a lot of L2s, there's a lot of ecosystems that raised hundreds of millions of dollars that is currently all either zombie ecosystems or slowly dying. The TVL to activity ratio is plummeting across, and everybody's struggling to find users, everybody's struggling to find usage, and there's like billions just sitting idle as TVL in most of the ecosystems out there. The second part is that every single ecosystem that comes out, it comes out with its own thing that requires a huge onboarding for every user. If I want to use Xchain or Xnet, I need to go there, I need to onboard myself to all of these new different protocols. I need to feel safe about it. I need to create a wallet. I need to sign 40 different transactions to swap to bridge my tokens from one chain to the other. And in reality, it is not really competitive in this attention economy that we're all living in. The Web2 products that we use, if you have to click 2 times, you're already bored. But somehow in ecosystems and in Web3 in general, it became acceptable for a user to spend 9 hours to get onboarded to an ecosystem, and it's not going to last very, very long. The third part of the problem is that there's a lot of dead ecosystems, and the active ecosystems, they rely on unfeasible incentive sprints where you have usage for 3 months, and when the incentives dry out, everybody leaves. Or you rely on mercenary liquidity where you overpay for LPs and you struggle to bring their capital around. This is the main problem of ecosystems. This is why we have a graveyard in DeFi Llama. And we believe it's time to change and look at it from a completely different perspective. There's a huge need for intelligent, always-on, self-driving capital that changes all of these things. We have launched the first agent in Web3 about 4 months ago on Base. And it's called Arma. You can go to arma.xyz and get yourself an agent today. Arma does stablecoin yield optimization because for us it was very logical that the most important asset class of today is a natural fit with the most important technology of today. And in these 4 months, we have managed, the agents have managed 10 million. So that is 10 million real capital, not testnet capital, that has been autonomously conducted. And from this 10 million, we draw 200 million in volume. And this ratio is the main topic of today. This 20x capital productivity is what we bring to the table. We create productive capital. Our KPIs are different. Our KPIs don't focus on TVL, which I think is an extremely flawed metric because it tells where the capital lives, not necessarily what it does or the value it brings, and it incentivizes for value to be locked. And I cannot comprehend that. As a person who's building financial systems, value should always be traveling, it should always be productive, and it should touch everyone that deploys it. And this is what we focus on. How Arma works is very, very simple. You go to Arma.xyz, you deploy your stable coins. Every single person in this room gets their own agent. So we bring personalization to finance. You can dictate your risk appetite. You can say, I only want to beat US inflation by 5% and that's fine. Or I only want to use more for vault, so I only want to use XYZ. And every single person's agent executes only for them. So we don't do vaults. You no longer have to put your eggs in the basket with everybody else's eggs. And this automated finance on the front end gives users the tailored financial experience that they didn't have in DeFi. And in the back end, it allows us to diversify the capital flow. After that, after you set up your parameters, what happens is that you deploy 10,000 USDC in Arma, and Arma continuously scans the ecosystem for you. It identifies strategies for you, and it executes strategies for you. So your money first goes to Morpho, you get 7%, then it goes to Aave, you get whatever percent, then it goes to Euler, and it goes to whatever percent. In the meantime, you can sleep, you can spend time with your family, you don't have to, lose any opportunities, and as the user, you're always put in a more and more profitable position. To date, we have executed more than 150,000 financial decisions autonomously on Base, and they are 100% profitable. This is what we bring for the user. We maximize two things that matter the most in life, which is wealth and time. But in the back end, what happens is that this 10,000 doesn't just go to one protocol and just stays there. It goes to all of the other protocols. So we get 20 times more productivity from every single dollar deployed. Currently, Base, as the ecosystem, gets $20 worth of fees and volume, financial, real volume, from every single dollar deployed with Giza agents. And this also have bigger impacts than just volume. This is the meme that I've seen. I know many of you have seen. And as you are building for agents, this is what it's going to take to attract agents. In very, very near short term, all the protocols, all the chains, everything else in between is going to be a backend component. Realistically, nobody needs to know about chains. Nobody needs to know about protocols. They just need to complete their financial objectives. And we remove everything else in between. And the majority of DeFi liquidity is going to be conducted by agents. And the systems and the ecosystems, they don't optimize for agents. They are going to be left behind. And how do you optimize for agents? Agents are looking for a couple of things. They are looking for low latency because they need to execute frequently. And so your ecosystem needs to be keeping up with that. They obviously require cheap fees. That's why we launched on Base. Because every agent needs to be profitable. The number one prospect of an agent that it makes capital for you. And the less cost there is, the more profit there is. And last but not least, you need to have a diverse set of primitives. You need to have DeFi Legos that the agents can play around with. And in return, what you get is 24/7 engine that runs for you, that doesn't depend on incentives, that doesn't depend on mercenary liquidity, where you don't have to fight for this little finite number of real DeFi users, and the ecosystem can autonomously run itself. That's a huge, huge benefit. You get sticky TVL, obviously, and you optimize your metrics. The first agent that we deployed is a stablecoin yield optimization agent, but the other agents that we are deploying for ecosystems, they operate in a wide range. We are building market-making agents that utilizes utilization ratios across landing protocols, and there's many, many other things. And we will build further agents that optimizes health metrics of ecosystems. And in reality, what we do is agentic market making. We are the most efficient and most impactful way to deploy capital back into your ecosystem. This obviously creates market discipline. And market discipline is, I think, something we lack and we desperately need in DeFi. But as the agents pick and choose where the capital is deployed and where the volume moves, if you are doing shady stuff, the agent is not going to go there. If your risk parameters are not well, the agent is not going to go there. So you need to be able to attractive for the agent to come to your side, and that market discipline is something quite fundamental. And we accelerate ecosystems. There is a trend towards hyper-personalized agents that extends beyond our world of Web3 and DeFi, agents that complete tasks for you, agents that run your life for you, and finance is not going to be left behind. And if your ecosystem is not building for agents, if your ecosystem is not building for AI, you're going to be pretty soon more dead than today. How do you build for agents? As we mentioned, there's like 4 main verticals that you need to take into account. Latency, you need to maximize it. Data, is the bread and butter of agentic applications. So you need to have a wide range of data for the agents to optimize towards. Cost, we mentioned. Profitability is the most important thing. And last but not least, these Legos that we discussed, they need to be there. The optionality is the most important thing for the agent. Optionality is what the agent needs to be profitable. I'll leave you with this. I think rollups needs robots. I think there's a great love story to be told between rollups and robots. And automation of finance, building an intelligent layer on top of finance, building a logic layer on top of finance that doesn't depend on incentives, that doesn't rely on very minimal human cognitive capabilities. This is the present and this is the future. And at Giza, we are building it. It is already live. And soon we're going to be launching into other ecosystems where we bring this idea of automated finance. And we'll be sharing the results with you very, very shortly. Thank you so much for your time. And hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.